Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. So this is my review for Love After Lockup, Love During Lockup. You got you a user, y'all. Season 4, episode 47. Baby, okay, where the hell is Mr. Ashante? Ashante is missing in action, honey. His phone is disconnected. Nobody know where he at. We got fake numbers for family members that don't exist, and he done got out yesterday, okay? Ciao, Letitia. Girl, I'm ready to box you up like daggone Hulk boxed up and slammed Loki, all right? You pissing me off. You got my blood pressure going up. You want to sit here and force your daggone daughters to be around this man that you decided to marry that they don't know from a hole in the wall. Then you going shopping for a new ring to prove to people that you really married, and you supposedly got permission to spend $10,000, but we spending $15,000. Your priorities is all screwed the hell up, girl. I can't with you, okay? Savannah still out here, Savannah and child. She is so freaking dead set on forcing this damn man to marry her that's clearly do not want to marry her and saying, I'd rather stay in jail than have you help me. Please stop. I don't want your help. And she carrying around a big old head, a poster of him. This girl needs to be going to therapy, honey. She do not need to be going worrying about getting anybody out of any jail, anywhere, anytime, any place, all right? In the meantime, for whatever reason, this mutual friend Carla that daggone, Keynock and Brittany have, for some reason, makes up a random fight that she's saying Keynock or, got into. And he is saying that he did not. And so it's like, well, what is going on? What's the truth? Why would she make up a story like that? Why would she want to drive a wedge between us, y'all? Let's go ahead and get into this episode. Break it on down. Take it from the top. You know how we do. So, y'all, listen, you may hear music in the background. You may hear firecrackers in the background. You don't know what you're going to hear because they getting buck wild over here, okay? It's a Friday night. I done turned this daggone AC off, and I'm trying to get this review out to you guys. I don't think we're going to be up here for a long time. We're going to get to the points, and we're going to talk about what we got to talk about, but you have been warned, okay? So, getting into this freaking episode that we had tonight, child, we going to start it out with Savannah. We going to get her on out the way. She over here riding and deciding still to call, Jake's daggone mama, even though he's precisely said don't do that, okay, and then tell her, oh, I'm in the neighborhood, I just so happened to stop by. And so he said it's giving him stalker. You doing too much. If I told you not to do that, then why would you do it? And at this point, he's like, girl, I don't want your help. Like, stop. If that's what it means for you to help me, then I'd rather you not help me at all. Of course, she's still talking about how sensitive she is, how much she want to help, how much she's contributing, how much she's doing, and she don't understand. She really wants to be able to blend in and mix in with him and his family, and she doesn't know what it is. Is it like her energy or whatever? And I'm like, girl, yeah, I think you need to, like I said, go ahead and see a therapist, honey, and talk to them about it and figure out what the heck is exactly going on, because you are clueless. So you cannot force this guy to want to be with you or want to marry you or force his family to want to be bothered with you. I ain't never seen somebody chasing people down that don't want nothing to do with them as much as this freaking girl do, okay? And so at this point, she's like, well, I didn't go up to the house or anything. I just tried to call her. And, I just was in the neighborhood. And he's like, it doesn't matter. It's giving me stalker. Like, why would you do that? And he was like, I told you to leave it alone. He said, at this point, I would rather stay in jail. Oh, well, you don't want to get out to 2028? Yeah, that's fine with me, because that's what I was expecting anyway. I was already setting up things and had it in my head long before I met you that I was going to still be in jail to that time anyway. So what difference would it make now? It's like, if it was, something able to be done where I could go ahead and switch and not be in there anymore, then that would be great. But if not, then this is what was supposed to be happening anyway. Do not help me, basically. And so, she's just like, okay, Now, she go head over to her girlfriend house. She give her a call, and she's like, I'm over here. I'm in the neighborhood, and I got Jake with me. And I'm like, you got Jake with you? Child, she come around. The girlfriend tell her she's in the background or whatever. And when she get back there, she's walking with a big old daggone head. I said, what is wrong with these freaking people? Either they got big pictures, child, with the whole body. We got freaking whole cutouts or whatever. Or we walking around with a daggone head. And her friend just started laughing and was like, you stupid. Okay, I guess it's good to know that she have a real genuine friend that accepts her for who she is. So at this point, she was like, you know, talking with her, whatever the case may be. And you know, Jake had called, and they was on, like, you know, had him on the loudspeaker, you know, speakerphone, whatever. And she's saying, do you really think you could be committed? And he's saying it's kind of hard to be committed when you are basically locked up and on your own. Like, what else am I supposed to be saying here? I don't get it. You know, her friends seem to be just as clueless as her. I feel like she should have been having a conversation with her and telling her that this is not realistic. And, you know, she's saying Savannah has been, you know, amazing to you. I've seen her get hurt in the past. I don't want to see her hurt again. Which, of course, any friend is going to say that, right? Or any family member is going to say that about their family. And, you know, he's basically, you know, she's saying, I'm going to be sitting here and I'm going to be waiting 5 years for us to finally want to, you know, be able to be together. And she was like, that kind of hurts. And, you know, she's over here with this doofy little giggle of hers or whatever the case may be. And then, you know, they say they're going to talk later or whatever, right? And, you know, her friend the whole time is just sitting here staring at her like, girl, what the hell is really going on here? And making faces or whatever. And then Savannah's like, what? And she was like, that doesn't sound good. And then she's like, oh, well, he said maybe he would, you know, because she was saying that, you know, hopefully they could talk a couple times later. And the girl, you know, her friend to me needed to be more direct with her and say, girl, give it up, turn it loose, okay? Shake it off, baby, okay? You better shake it off, because the loving ain't the same, okay? That's what her friend needed to tell her. That's what she really needed in that moment, in my opinion. Now, moving on from her, you know, we basically had Brittany and I'm sorry, y'all. I'm forgetting these people's names for a minute. Y'all know it take a minute sometimes because we got two different Brittany's up here. But Brittany and Keenock, right? Basically with her, she's waking up and she gets on the phone with this mutual friend, Carla. She's calling her to see how everything is going because she knows that Keenock is still pissed off with her from, of course, her missing, you know, that video call. And the girl, Carla, is like, yeah, girl, he was real upset. He was pissed off about that, but we did still go to this party. We was having a great time. We was enjoying ourselves, but then a fight broke out. And she's like, what, a fight? Like, y'all was fighting? She's like, yeah, girl, we was. You know, I was initially fighting the person, and then Keenock ended up getting into the fight. So she's basically saying like, dag, you know, I don't like that. That makes me worried. And of course, she probably feels like she's part of the reason why he was fighting, because of the fact that he's upset about her missing the video call and he was already in a bad space and things of that nature. So she's like, I don't want to take no chances of, you know, him getting locked back up, him having to do any extra time, because they end up finding out about this fight and the person pressed street charges. So she's like, well, where were y'all? She says, as a matter of fact, get him on the phone. And she's like, well, I can't get him right now because he's working out. And she's like, all right, yeah, leave it alone. Don't get him then, because, you know, he's probably going to be even more pissed. And she was basically like, well, you know, did anybody see y'all? Where was y'all at? And she was saying no, that they was in, you know, the cave. So she like, okay, good. At least I don't have to be worried about that part. She was like, that's not good. So later we find, you know, his family grilling with her and saying how he got this gift for her, and they, you know, giving her an envelope that got $300 in it, and we finding out that he made some investment inside of a laundromat. I said, okay, Keenock, go ahead with your bad stuff, okay? Thinking smart outside the box and still making sure that you'll have an income coming in and you'll be able to come home to something. And so he ends up calling on the phone right after that, because she was saying even though he's already, you know, did the process and is looked at as a transgender man, he's still locked up with the woman. And so she basically was like, thank you, babe. What made you do this? And she was like, this reminds me of when I was a kid. And he was like, well, that's part of the reason why I did do it, because I remembered you talking about, you know, you grilling and all of that different kind of stuff when you was a kid. And she was like, well, what was the money for? And he was like, I just want you to go shopping and buy you nice things. And she was like, I really appreciate that. So she ends up asking him like, oh, well, you know, what's up with this whole fight thing or whatever? Like, Carla was telling me you got into a fight. And he's like, oh, you just gonna believe anything somebody tell you? She's like, no, I'm asking you. And he was like, well, that makes me think you don't trust me and you don't believe me. Why would you even ask me something like that? I'm not gonna jeopardize or do anything like that. And she was like, no, it wasn't that. Like, I know if you're only gonna fight to defend yourself, and if somebody did something to you, so I figured something could have happened, and maybe you just didn't tell me about it because you didn't want me to worry. It's not that I'm saying that I don't believe you. And she's like, well, why would she lie like that? And then he's basically like, the question is, why would you even believe something like that? So of course, when she's talking in her confession, she's like, well, what the hell is all of that about? What is Carla, you know, lying to me for? Is it that she just wants to drive a wedge in between us? So I said, girl, I don't know, honey. I guess we'll figure that out. What do y'all think? Okay, is something going down with Carla and Key Knock over there at the prison? Put it in the comments. Let me know. But moving on from that, you know, we also had Jade and Chris. I don't really give a damn about this story, to be honest. Jade is really annoying the hell out of me, because now she's all this pity party. We supposed to feel sorry for her. The only one that's feeling sorry for her and falling for this okie doke is her sister. She's just actually adding the fuel to the fire with the whole situation. You know, she over here talking about something, I can't believe this, and I never thought about the aspect of me being left with nothing because I sit here and depend on him all the time for everything, and I feel like he screwed me. I said, no, girl, you screwed yourself. That's what you did, because you should have never, ever, ever put all your eggs in one basket, and never, ever, ever just depend on one person to solely do everything for you and be able to take care of you no matter what. God forbid, even if he dropped dead, you would have to figure it out. And if your name ain't on nothing, honey, you still wouldn't be getting nothing any damn way, okay? So you should have been looking into all of that and making sure that all of that was set up from the get-go, and been having these conversations before you jump to marry somebody, in my opinion. And so, you know, we having this drive or whatever, and she's going on and on about, oh, I didn't think that this would be this way. And she was like, you know, we're almost in South Dakota or whatever. And his sister's like, yeah. And she's like, you know, I'm still like driving from Minnesota or whatever to South Dakota, and in a few days we're going to be at the prison. But now, of course, she's feeling a whole nother way. Even though she is excited to see Chris in person, she's also feeling nervous. And she's like, you know, I feel like we've been fighting a lot, so that makes it even more tense to be able to see him and all the stuff that he's been basically saying, you know, recently. And so the sisters, oh yeah, you know, with this whole thing with the house not being in your name, and he seemed like he's being super defensive. And she was like, yeah, it's definitely making me feel a little worried, because he brought that up and he had never brought it up before. And whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, basically just more of the same stuff that we already heard, okay, last week. He wanted to throw her to the curb, and the family asking about the prenup, and even how the family reacted to her. And she's like, you know, you didn't ever think to ask about none of this stuff. That's the only thing that I did agree with the sister with. And she was like, no, I never really did. It was just kind of like he's paying for everything, and it's like, okay. But now that when I think about it, you know, if we did ever get divorced, I guess she just thought that it was going to be automatic that they would split things 50-50. I said, girl, what? So, of course, you know, she talking about something. She always thought that, you know, he was her soulmate, and that if he was, you know, financially stable, she didn't have to worry about being able to depend on herself. And it's kind of slap in the face. I said, girl, you should be slapping yourself in the face anyway for being that stupid to think that way, right? And now she talking about how she could definitely be homeless and not have nothing. So when they get in this store, they busy shopping, and you know, now we want to say how any money that we get from this point on, we would be putting it to the side for a rainy day. We would also, okay, according to her sister and her advice, be getting expensive gifts, expensive purchases, you know, purses and things that we can sell. I said, well, then sell all the stuff that you already been getting online and showing. I'm confused. Like, why would you have to buy purses and stuff from this point on to sell? Sell what you already done been buying, because like you said, you done already got over $1 million worth of stuff for him. If they don't get out my damn face with this story, child. Moving on from them, Letitia. Girl, you taking me off. I cannot stand when y'all up here with these freaking kids and y'all are forcing these kids. You know, she want to be on speaker with him talking about how he want to have this connection with the kids. That's all fine and dandy. And I get it. And that is what you should be doing. However, Karma, you cannot sit here and force these girls to want to sit here and have a conversation with somebody they don't know from a hole in the wall that they feel like my mama had done lost her damn mind. She's marrying some random damn man that she don't know. And now I'm supposed to pretend and talk to him on the damn phone and act like we best friends. Like, no, girl, I wouldn't want to talk to him either. What the hell is wrong with you? And so, you know, she's sitting here and having them be so uncomfortable talking. Meanwhile, his auntie or whoever the hell she was is there too. And of course, she gonna look at it from one aspect with that being her nephew. And she's saying how she really do like Letitia or whatever and think that she's good for him. But she also made sure to mention how her nephew looks so good. And when he come out, you know, she already know it's gonna be a lot of women that's gonna want to be all over him because of how good he look, right? And so when they first coming in, you know, her daughter, one is 5 or whatever the case may be, she come running to her and hugging her. She was saying, you know, I'm home or whatever the case may be. And she's like, oh, how my oldest, I missed you guys. Because remember, she had left them for her to be able to go visit him in the first place. And, you know, she's just there like, oh, hey, Aunt Marsha, you know, thank you for holding down the kids and blah, blah, blah. And she's saying, you welcome. And then, you know, she's like, I also really need to talk to Keith and, you know, just be able to reassure herself with this whole situation with the baby mama thing. Okay, because remember, the baby mamas wanted to know whether the marriage was real and legit or whatever the case may be in the first place. And so you could just see the daughter's like whole body freaking, you know, posture and stuff like that shift. And she just looks like, you know, a little sad, pitiful teenager. Whereas the 5-year-old is probably going to be a little bit more, you know, open to it because she's younger and stuff and she really don't understand everything fully. And then, you know, Letitia talking about, oh, you know, a prison wife job and all of this, or prison wife life is stressful, right? And, you know, she's over here, you know, saying how when her husband is out here and he finally hits the streets, he's, you know, not going to have nothing to prove to anybody. And, you know, how she wants them to just be able to function as a family and have her daughters, you know, be involved with him and all of that. And so the 5-year-old gets on the phone with him, no problem, and talking and stuff like that. But the teenager's basically walking away like, you know, you can see that she does not want to be bothered. And so, you know, she's just standing on the side, literally twisting up her lips. And then, you know, Letitia's over here going like this and, you know, trying to get her to get on the phone with him and stuff like that. And I just did not like any part of that. Like, do not force this girl to be around this man and then gonna put her on blast like, oh, you don't want to talk to him, and he's like, you know, it's okay, it's fine or whatever. And then she just went down and sat on the other couch and she was like, you know, I don't want to put my oldest daughter in a position to probably, you know, look at me different or whatever the case may be and be like, this is how you let a man treat you. But you are the role model. You are what she see. Like, you know, she's talking about, I understand that she's really protective of me and all of this crap. And, you know, she was like, Keith is like 100% ready for it, but her daughter's not, you know, so she get off the phone and say, I love you. So then they go out for this outing or whatever, you know, to try to spend a little bit more time with them since she did leave them to go visit him and have some fun. And then she's sitting down talking with the daughter saying, well, why you didn't want to talk to him? And she's literally like, because I don't know him. I don't know him. Like, I do not know him. And then when she's talking in the confessional, she's saying, of course, her biggest worry is that she don't want to see her mama hurt. I mean, come on now. I just don't like it, y'all. I don't. Meanwhile, freaking Renika, child. Renika get her behind on this road to go see Asante. Okay, she's talking about, I'm driving down to the prison or whatever the case may be. I'm getting close to my man and he finna be coming home, honey, baby. We gonna be on and popping or whatever. And, you know, but it's been 2 days since I heard from him, since he got those new charges and all of that and the $3,000 bond. And I didn't know where that money was gonna come from because I sure as hell didn't have it. I done booked the hotel and I'm driving my behind down there, and then I could wait for my man in the morning and be able to get him And she was like, Ashanti did give me this one family member that I'm supposed to be able to contact, or whatever the case may be, to help him bail him out. I'm about to say bury, Lord, bail him out, okay? And so she's basically, hopefully they got that together and they did his bond. And she's like, I'm so nervous right now. So she was like, I left my family, I left my friends, of course. I spent over $4,000 trying to get down here just to move, just to be close to you, okay? Want to be close to you. I said, girl, you were the dummy, okay? So when she dialing the number, honey, the phone is disconnected. The phone is disconnected, and she like, why is the phone disconnected? Okay, Mr. Telephone man, there's something wrong with my life. When I dial my baby's number, I get a click every time. Honey, the phone is disconnected. So she's like, well, this is the only way that we've been able to communicate, and this worries me a lot. Now I'm thinking all different kind of things. So then she calls the daggone, prison, and she's like, I'm looking for my fiance and blah blah blah, and I'm trying to see whether he released or not. And they was like, girl, he been gone. What you talking about? Okay, what you talking about, Willis? They was like, he was gone. She was like, he wasn't supposed to be released yet. Do you know around what time he got released? Like, what are you talking about? They said this was yesterday, boo. Okay, you a day late and $1 short. I said, she said yesterday, yes, yesterday. So she's like, I don't understand what's going on. She like, now all different kind of things is going through my mind. Okay, is he walking on the side of the road? I said, girl, really? You think he been walking on the side of the road since yesterday? Because some other chick had possibly picked him up. I don't even want to think about that. It better not be that. I'm not even going to have that thought in my head. And she's like, I need to pull over for a minute. So now when she pulls over, she's like, yo, I could be kidnapped. Anything could happen to me. You could tell this is like where truckers be stopping at or whatever. And then she basically proceeds to say, well, let me go ahead and call the number that was, this supposed family member of his that was supposed to be helping, an emergency number that he gave. Baby, when she called that number, they was like, no, you got the wrong number, okay? It sure as hell ain't nobody named no Ashanti that's affiliated with us. She over here talking about, you sure? I'm sure they would know whether or not, I'm saying, this is their family member, unless the person just wanted to lie anyway and was like, why the hell did, she gave my number. I'm sorry, y'all, because I skipped the part with Letitia that just came back to me as well. Let me just mention this real quick. Letitia took her behind to the jewelry store to upgrade and get this other ring, because she did tell him that she wanted a new ring. She wanted to spend $30,000 on it, and he was like, girl, you done lost your damn mind, okay? I will go for $10,000. So when she gets to the jewelry store, the ring cost $15,240. The lady had told her to give her a minute. She would be right back, and she would check to see if she could do any other things. And she was like, we do financing. Letitia talking about my husband don't do financing. She like, oh, okay, well then either you spend it or you don't, girlfriend, okay? She said there's a saying that we say that is basically, they can forgive, and forget later on, or whatever the case may be. And she laughed at that. Needless to say, she still went ahead and bought the damn ring anyway. And, we like, oh, it's $5,000 over, and, we ain't going to be able to tell him about it. And, he'll hopefully be able to forgive her later. I said, girl. Now back at Renika, she's at this rest stop and she's calling the family member, and they're like, no, okay, we ain't no damn family. We don't know this person. Don't call this phone again. Like, no, okay. And she's saying how she out here in the middle of nowhere. She don't know what to do. So she was like, a bitch could be kidnapped or anything, and I'm doing all of this just for this man. So now she go ahead and call, I think a cousin of hers or whatever, and she's like, yo, I'm not far from where the prison is. I don't understand what's going on. The number is disconnected, because she was there asking the person, are you sure? I don't understand. This is what they said, you are in such and such. And she's like, are you serious, and all of that. And so he's like, I don't know what to tell you. So now, of course, she really freaking stuck. And it's going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So she get on the phone, and instead of her saying, I'm going to ride my behind back. I'm going to get to the hotel. I'm going to figure it out and get back to my daughters. No, we ain't saying that because we going to act like we ain't got no damn sense. We saying I'm frustrated. Ashanti's phone is disconnected. I don't know what to do. They saying that he got released yesterday. This is not making absolutely no sense. You know, we supposed to been getting together and going where we needed to go and doing what we needed to do. So when she's talking to her sister, she was saying she was just waking up and she was like, look, I'm out here. You know, I'm literally at a truck stop. She was like, I called the prison. They saying that he got out yesterday. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not far from there. You know, he hasn't called me. The phone is disconnected. And, you know, basically, of course, the first reaction is it sound like you got played. It sound like he used you. And she was like, I'm hoping and praying that nothing happened to him or whatever. And she says she still feel like she should ride down there and see if he's there. And she was like, girl, you need to have some damn self-respect. What the hell are you talking about? You hear me? Okay, do you hear me? Like, get in your car and turn the hell around. And she talking about something she don't think she should turn around because she almost there. Oh, Lord. She was like, come on, man. Don't you see what's happening here? And then she talking about, it's my man. I'm trying to get to him. I'm trying to get to him. Okay, get there when you can. Babe, the way I would have been out on that ass, honey, I wouldn't have gave a damn where he was and what happened to him, okay? Child. So she's still like saying, you know, her sister told her, I love you. It's your choice. Do what you want to do. I already told you what I think you should do. And so she hang up the phone with her. I don't know what I should do. I left my family. I left my friends. It's been a struggle. I'm stressed the hell out. What do I do? Maybe I made the wrong decision. I said, girl, Renika. That was the episode, y'all. That was the episode. That's what I got. Put it in the comments, y'all. Tell me, what did y'all think about this? Where the hell do you think Ashanti is at? Anything I left out, y'all, put it in the comments. Let's discuss it down there, okay? Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe if you are so inclined. Give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. Till next